Hey folks, welcome back. My name is Steven. This is a channel that's all about soccer referee education. I hope that the content here helps you to become a better referee. I am growing, I am learning, I am making mistakes. I think each day I do a little bit better, but it's always, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, or some days it's like 3 steps back and 1 step to the side, right? So I'm a work in progress, and thanks for your patience as I kind of unload some of my content of things that I'm learning in hopes that it might be able to help you. I was listening to a talk from a NISOA presentation, and the presenter said referees or the refereeing occupation is the only one where you show up on the first day and they expect you to be perfect. Make no mistakes, and yet you're still supposed to improve and get better after every single game. I guess maybe like a brain surgeon or a doctor or someone would you'd kind of have that same expectation too. But I think that's very true. If you make any mistakes, no one's happy with you, even if you are like a beginner and just starting out. So that's tough. I guess I never really thought of it like that. So in today's video, this is just something that happened to me, and I want to share it with you. I'm doing a men's game, guys in their 20s and 30s, like a men's open game, 2 45-minute halves. This is an unsanctioned game, so it's not like an official USSF game. And I end up sending off one of the players for a dog, so denying an obvious goal scoring opportunity. And there was no attempt on the ball. Like the guy got tripped. I didn't even think that the defender could actually play the ball, so I ended up sending the guy off. Okay, right or wrong, I don't know, but that was my assessment. So that was my call. So the player goes over to the bench, and then as the player is over there, and I haven't restarted play yet, I yell to the manager who's over there, and I said that the player needs to leave the field of play. And this comes from Law 12, Fouls and Misconduct. It says, quote, a player, substitute, or substituted player who has been sent off must leave the vicinity of the field of play and the technical area. Okay, so that's end quote. All right. So I'm thinking, a couple years ago I got assessed and I got dinged because I had given a red card in that game, and I let the players stay on the sideline for the rest of the game. And this guy was not 14; he was like in his 20s or 30s. So this was another men's game, so like he needed to leave the area. So I was like, I was thinking to myself, this time I'm gonna get it right. That guy needs to leave, right? He needs to be out of sight, out of mind, or out of visual, like out of sight and out of like auditory distance, right? So I yell at the coach. I say, hey, this guy's got to go. And then I restart play because I figured, he's got to get his bag and maybe take off his shoes and change his clothes and then kind of get off, right? Well, he ends up staying on the side of the bench there, kind of sitting there watching the game. And then like one of the other players on the other team says something to me about this, and I said, I'm going to handle it. And so then at a stoppage, I go over, and rather than shouting at the coach, I walk over to the coach, and I said just to the coach, I kind of brought him over away from his bench, and I said, Coach, I need 13 to leave, and I need all the other people who are over here, like they had some friends who like showed up at halftime or something who weren't players, who were dressed in street clothes, and I'm like, all the other people who are over here who are not on the roster as a team manager or a player must leave. And I'm stopping this game until that happens. And I said it like not loud at all. I said it really quietly and just to him in like an intimate, hey, this is what needs to happen, and I'm stopping the game until this takes place. And that made things move much more quickly because I don't know, it was just like really effective. I said I'm stopping this, and this needs to happen. Well, slowly, like they all got up, they kind of gave me a hard time. This ref, blah blah blah. You know how it goes. So I could either stay there and take it, or move to the other side of the field, so I'm out of earshot of all that, grumbling and this blah blah blah. Ref, fill in your creative words there. so they eventually go out, and they don't actually end up leaving the field. They go like right near the exit, but kind of over like by the opponent's goal, and they sit there on this little in this little rampart and like watch. And they, as soon as they left their technical area, that whole side of the field, like the technical area of the manager who I spoke with, got super quiet. Like, it was super effective in helping me manage that game. It just got like dead silent over there because there was like the manager and like one or two players, and like no one was talking or saying anything, and it helped my own game management. So for me, that was a big win. My fail was I didn't follow through, right? They got almost all the way out, or like, you know, the player didn't totally leave the vicinity. He went over to the corner, but stayed there. He ended up coming up to me after the game and saying some inappropriate words. So that's my fault. And the other guy should have been over in the stands where everyone else was sitting, not back there kind of by the goal. So that's my fault. I guess the good thing is at least we moved them from the technical area, but we didn't move them far enough, and I didn't have complete follow through. So what am I saying to you? When there is a red card, unless you're dealing with minors, like you know, if you got a 13-year-old girl, you know, you're not going to send her, you know, across the street to McDonald's while the game finishes, right? You know, she needs to be under some sort of parental supervision, or under the coach's supervision, or whatever. But when you have adults, it's appropriate that they are out of sight and sound of the pitch. And you can, as soon as you give that red card, you go over there and say that to the coach, and maybe say, "Hey, coach, just a reminder that this is the protocol," and say, you know, I'll give him, you know, 5 minutes to kind of pack up his stuff, but then I expect to see his progress, you know, going towards the exit or something, right? Like, you don't maybe have to hold the whole game while he does that. He maybe needs to grab his stuff and go so you can keep the game moving. But if it's a problem where he's delaying or he's sitting down and watching the game, then I think it's appropriate to stop it, be like, no, this is what needs to happen, and then move on. And as like the temperature rises in the game, and a lot of guys are excited, and it's close. What I found effective in this situation was when I can be very clear and direct and calm, like, I need this to happen, and we're not starting the game until this happens, and that's it. And that was very effective for me in getting the message across to the manager. And I want to be really sensitive because, you know, you have to send a player off. That's not fun. I'm trying to be respectful. I don't want to be a jerk or an a-hole or anything like that. But I'm trying to follow the protocol for, you know, the IFAB laws of the game. So, but I'm just trying to do that sensitively and respectfully. So anyway, guys, I hope that's helpful. Maybe you learned something, maybe you didn't. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.